Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Haradrim Month. Yes, we have two brand new Haradrim to round out that team. They'll be arriving in two brand new marquee events. I'm not really sure how I feel about these guys being in the marquee events since they're generic characters that CG have just created. I'll give my thoughts on that a little bit later in the video, but for now, let's get a closer look at what these guys are going to be able to contribute to your roster. Now, I'm not going to read out everything on every ability because besides that being incredibly boring for you guys to listen to, we're going to get a real demonstration of that once those marquee events come around. I'm just going to go through some of the finer points to tell you why this team can really work in this game. So we're going to start off with the leader here, Tibeb. Now, she is a healer, which is actually very important for this game because, as you know, the Shadow team doesn't really have a very good healer in their midst. Of course, we do have the Goblin Chef. He isn't too bad as a healer. We also have Dunhar for Isengard, but he will only heal the most wounded member of his team. And of course, we do have the passive of Isengard under Ugluk's leadership. But Tibeb is going to be a very good healer for the Shadow team. It's going to help you through a number of different areas of the game and could be a very important plug-and-play character in some of your other squads, even if you don't feel like building up the Haradrim team. But the thing that does make her really good is her leadership ability and will make the Haradrim a very viable team. They're going to function very similar to the way that the Phoenix squad was introduced in Galaxy of Heroes, in the sense that each living Haradrim squad member shares their passive ability with the other Haradrim squad members. So let's have a quick look at what that's going to do for the rest of the team. So Tibeb, by herself, as soon as she drops below 50% health, she'll gain 1 stack of Unbreakable, and once maxed out, she'll get 3 stacks of Regeneration. So every single Haradrim squad member will have this ability added to their kit. So some of the other abilities that you're also going to have added to kits are going to be things such as always inflicting Black Serpent's poison from Rebel, and we'll get to that Black Serpent's poison very shortly because that's going to be another very important mechanic for this team. You'll also have the bonus crit chance from Yeftu, and also the passive healing when attacking someone with Black Serpent's poison, which is provided by Wubete. The other one I'll get to in just a minute. So just to round out Tibeb, she can also grant haste for 2 turns to all squad members and cleanse Banes. So she is also a very good support character as well as healer. So moving on to Bikelu. Now, she is also a very good damage dealer. She can cleanse Banes and grant deadly to her teammates. And she also has the ability to inflict the Black Serpent's poison in a big tag team, big damage dealing move with Wubete. But the other thing that she does bring to this team is through her passive, which is dealing a bonus 23% damage against enemies with no boons. And that brings me to the functionality of this Black Serpent's poison. When you inflict that Bane on an enemy, the next boon that that enemy is going to receive will turn into poison. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you are probably thinking that this is the perfect counter for Elrond and his Rivendell elves, but I'm not so sure that that's going to work as well as it might sound on paper. Mainly because the elves do have a really good ability of cleansing those Banes before they do anything. So someone like Arwen could actually cleanse those Banes off her allies, and then that Black Serpent's poison doesn't get to do its thing anyway. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it will have a better effect than what I think it does, but we'll have to wait until these teams get built up and we see them in action, and we can actually see how that Black Serpent's poison mechanic is going to work in the game. Now, some of you guys may be excited about the Haradrim, others may not really care too much. So let's just have a quick look at the areas of the game where you're going to be able to use these guys and how effective they might be. the first thing that we can take a look at is the arena. Now, I don't know that they're going to be a great team for the arena. You may see a few of them there for people that have put some significant investment into them. I think there are some teams that they will be able to beat, such as the old meta of the arena that had that combination of Isengard, Rohan, then insert Gaza here. Against the elves, I don't really think they're going to be as strong as what we might need to beat that meta. And the reason for that is not when it comes down to gear and star level and all that kind of thing. It's going to come down to the investment that you're going to need to put into their abilities to make sure that you get the most out of that team. And those ability mats are so rare to come across that it's just not possible to be stacking everything into these one teams unless they're going to be one of the better teams in the game that you're going to be able to use in a number of different areas. Also, you have to consider that as soon as different squad members get taken out, they're going to actually weaken the entire team. So if Rebel was to be targeted first, that takes out a lot of their ability to inflict that Black Serpent's poison and really disables the whole squad. So as far as the arena is concerned, I think they would get taken down quite easily, but there are a few areas where they will shine. First of all is going to be your chapter missions, simply because you do have a quality healer in there, meaning that you're going to survive those battles and you're going to be able to get those 3 stars quite easily for all of those chapter missions. The other thing is that they can cover 2 of the challenge modes. First one is Forged in the Deep, so that way you will be able to get those Luminous Crystal 2s, which are very important for leveling up your light side characters. The other one is your battle experience, something else which is a very important resource that can be hard to come by. So anytime that you have a team that can cover multiple challenges, they are worth investing in. Now the big one that is going to have a question mark on it is going to be for the raid. Will they be good to have in the raid? Whether it's chapter 1 or whether it's one of the other chapters down the line, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% sure on their crowd control ability to deal with that first chapter, but I will be building them up regardless. I think once we're looking at a single boss such as the Cave Troll or even the Balrog, being able to use that Black Serpent's poison may come in handy, and they could be very, very effective for those future chapters. Overall, I do think they're an interesting team. I'd like to see how that mechanic works, sharing those passives and also with the Black Serpent's poison. I will be putting a little bit into these guys to build them up. The only thing that really irks me about this team is the fact that these 2 are being released in marquee events. It's different when we had Arwen, Elladan, Legolas, Gimli. These are characters that are beloved by a lot of players that really have a connection to those characters, so I can understand why monetizing those characters is important for Capital Games. I do have a little bit of an issue when they're just making up their own characters and then saying, here you go, and here's a chest and here's a pack, you can buy these guys all the way up to 7 stars. I just don't think that's respecting the player base very much at all. As much as I do like getting a free 3-star character, I just feel like it's happening a little bit too often. I think if there were ways that we could earn these characters in a much longer event or some other way that we can actually play the game and get a bit more content out of it, I think it would be a little bit more rewarding to be able to unlock these characters. For example, if you want this to be Haradrim Month, they could quite easily have Tebeb as the login character for the month, so only those players that actually take the time to play the game every day are going to be able to unlock them at 3 stars at the end of the month. As for the other character, you could easily have an event that might run over the course of a week that you have to grind that event out to reach different milestones, unlock different rewards, and then maybe have that character at the end of the event. So only the players that are really trying to play the game and want to enjoy it are going to get those little bit more benefits out of it. It doesn't have to be an event that you're going to have to spend money to unlock the character. You could still get it for free. It's just that you would have to invest a little bit more time into. And anyone that likes playing these games, I'm sure would appreciate being able to play a little bit more content with the game. I understand that it is a business and they do need to make money. That's perfectly fine. But you need to give the players something to actually play for. The marquee events are simply done in between your arena bouts just so you can finish those daily challenges. It's all over really quickly. You don't really feel like you get that much out of it unless you're trying to pursue the rewards of those higher levels. But even then, that's usually players spending money to try and get rewards, which costs more than what those rewards are even worth in the first place. So let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about these characters being marquee characters, considering they are just made up by the developers? And are you excited to have this Haradrim team in the game? That's it for this one, guys. Don't forget, like and sub, you know the deal. We got plenty more Heroes of Middle-earth coming your way. Don't miss out, and I'll catch you in the next one.